Hi, this is Weekly Reflections, and I'm back. I'm Nancy Joy. Have you noticed, we touched on this last week, but have you noticed all the excitement we had as Solstice 2013 came and we felt 2014 oncoming, and how awake, alive, and ready we were to turn our dreams into creations? It's such an exciting energy field. But at the exact same time that little hour or so later that the winter solstice aligned, Venus went retrograde. Venus is the planet. It went retrograde in Capricorn, by the way, which means it's a thumbtack. It's like you've got to listen. And a retrograde planet is a planet that appears from the Earth to be going backwards, but it actually is not going backwards. And so its value, its purpose, its energy is accentuated to the point where it can be uncomfortable. You all know about Mercury retrograde and communications and things. So Venus is the planet of love and the divine feminine. It's also the planet that weaves fate. Fate being that which you're here to take care of, to handle, to work with. And so at the same time we had all this excitement going, did you notice that from the winter solstice onward into January, and then once the new year died down, Venus is in a void. She's gone from the nighttime sky. Everything seemed to not be going forward. Where was all this magic? Where were our creations? And then not only that, check yourself out. I know for me, huge, deep things I thought I had settled came up. And that's all Venus's magic. When Venus goes through the sky, she creates the pattern of the rose. And of course, what comes with the rose are the thorns. So in the retrograde position, it was time for us, it is still in it, it's time for us to experience the thorns. Venus goes direct again January 31st, so we still have almost a couple of weeks of this beautiful lesson that Venus is here to teach us. So think back, 8 years, Venus does this every 8 years, this retrograde, so not all that often. It was 8 years ago, was 2006. So think back on 2006 in your life. I know for me there was such upheaval and realignment, especially in emotions, especially in relationships. Venus also rules relationships. So whether it's a friend, your child, your spouse, this time that she's gone retrograde until the 31st, understand that whatever is happening to you and is painful and is hurtful and is triggering you is such a valuable opening for you to do actually final karmic clearing. This is very, very powerful. It's faded almost, and so it's deep karmic clearing. And since we are moving out of karma completely, you can imagine that the very final stages are going to be intense. So I guess we can say thank you, Venus, maybe, for the unpleasant business that has come roaring into us. And sometimes with the slightest little silly triggers, it's not the event of the person, it's what it activates in you. And it's so important. Last week, we talked about how this was actually recoding your DNA. It's DNA level clearing and healing. I didn't understand the Venus part of it then, so it's important. Now, Lauren, who channels the Pleiadian High Council, says this: since December 21st, 2013 solstice, when Venus went retrograde, we have been in a deep state of honest reflection. That's within. But this particular retrograde's turning out many resolutions to painful past memories that we never had access before. In other words, we might be mad at the situation, at the person, or whatever it is, especially in relationship, and yet it really has nothing to do. It's so ancient and so deep. We weren't even on any level aware of it. So it's a wonderful opportunity, when it look at it this way. So Lauren goes on to say, the core wound connections to trauma that in some cases we've been trying lifetimes and doing it in layers to reach to, back to the beginning of our journey to self-love. So this is how deep it is. Whatever's going on with you right now that's difficult and painful and comes roaring back, makes no sense that you're so upset about something. It's because it goes back to the original place in you where you were wounded and unable to love yourself, basically. So Venus brings us the gift of love, being she rules relationships, she rules fate, and she rules, what was I going to say? Relationship. Oh, and this unfinished business that we have to take care of. So, folks, look at it this way. You're in a little holding pattern to do some very deep final shifting, but she comes back direct January 31st when she'll then become the morning star. So when she left us on solstice and left us in the void and opened this doorway to our lesson in her retrograde, she will be, as she always does, reappearing as the morning star on January 31st. And at that time, she will walk hand in hand with the divine masculine that is also resurfacing, because this is about integration, right? And the masculine takes action. So what you're going to see now as they walk hand in hand into February and March is action. It's going to be the time when your dreams start to become your creations. So although it was not quite a bing bang start we were hoping for, you can all, of course, feel it coming. The new creations are going to start to appear in our lives like crazy. Masks are going to drop away. People are going to have to look at what's actually been going on and happening and adjust to it, so you'll be needed. So it makes sense that Venus brings us this needed peace. So if you've been wallowing into January, a little disappointed and a lot painful in some silly, unexpected ways, well, that's what's going on. So embrace it as opportunity and turn yourselves from dreamers into creators, because that's what 2014 is all about. So as you can do that and take it in and become it, catch the magic, because we're going on fast forward, folks. Have a great week. Bye.